Good evening, everyone. Okay, yesterday all of you got a chance to attend that orientation session, or today is your first day? First day. First day. Okay. Fine then. So yesterday it was more like what is that we are going to discuss in this training program and things like that we discussed, but nothing much actually. Fine then. So this is our analytics training program, which is Analytics Power Pack, in which we are starting with Advanced Excel. And a few of you are, looking for only Advanced Excel. And from today onwards, we are starting our Excel sessions. Yesterday, you didn't miss much. Actually, I was just taking through what is Excel, like, what are the course contents and what all we discuss. So those are the points we just, like an orientation we discuss, but nothing much. So today, I'll take you through the technical content. So this is what we are going to learn today. Right. Okay. So I would like to hear from you before we start Excel sessions. So you have some idea about Excel? Yes. Okay. What is Excel? What is a spreadsheet application? Things like that. You're okay. Yeah. Okay. So as part of this Excel training program, we are going to learn, first of all, what is data? Okay. How to transform the data into meaningful information, how to summarize the data, visualize the data with the help of charts and all, analyze the data with the help of interactive dashboard slicers, print, protect, share. So these are the different things we are going to learn as part of this training. So let's start with very basic first. You want to understand what is Excel and what is a sheet, what is a cell. So of course, a few of the things that you are already aware of them, but I'm covering them once again because I just need to make sure everyone is on the same page before we get into the advanced topics. We use Excel for three main reasons. We store the data, we do the calculations, and we analyze the data. Okay. Store the data, do the calculations, analyze the data. Storage of the data, either by entering it, we type the data, right? That way we can store it, or we can copy paste the data from some other source and paste it here. That way we can do it, right? So the storing inside Excel sheets we do. And after that, we do the calculation. So how do we do the calculations in Excel? Using Excel formulas. There are so many formulas available, a good 450 plus or 470 plus formulas are available. All these different types of formulas will use for different requirements. So when to use what is another thing that we discuss in the formulas. Okay. And finally, once all the calculations are ready, we try to analyze the data. What's happening in our business? Okay. This is what we try to find out. Storage, store the data, calculate the data, and analyze the data. History of the spreadsheet, it's up to you if you want to remember. The very first spreadsheet application, VisiCalc, was released in 1978. And then 1980, you have SuperCalc and Lotus 123 from IBM 1983. And when Microsoft launched Excel for the very first time, they named it Multiplan. Okay, the very first version Excel name is Multiplan in 1985. Okay, and later from the second version onwards, they renamed it to Excel. The very first version name is Multiplan actually. No one actually asked about the history of Excel, but just in case if you want to remember. Do we have any competitor to Excel? No, no competition. Right? You take any company, be it, it's into services or any production or manufacturing or anything, any kind of a company. For their reporting needs, they use Excel application only. No other application. There are other applications also, but not every company uses them, right? Maybe a 98% of the companies, they use Excel only for their reporting needs and the data storage. There is no competition. Google Sheets are there. Yes, possible. And Google, a few of the small companies, they use Google Sheets because it's like a free source available and anyone can store the data on the cloud. So that's the reason a few companies, they use Google worksheets, and Google also uses Google Sheets only because it's their in-house product, right? So they use, but most of the other companies, you take any other company, they use Excel only. Okay. The basic terminology of Excel, let's try to understand them as well. What is a cell? A cell is an intersection between column and a row. If you are looking at the cell address is C24. Cell address is C24. So here C is the column, 24 is the row. It's C24 cell. Every cell has a cell address and it's an intersection between column and a row. So if I select something here, what is the cell address? Right, D26, that you can see in the name box. This is called name box. Okay, D26. Every cell has an address like this. Okay, it's an intersection between a column and a row. Now I get a question. What is the cell address? It's an incorrect question. Why? Because you cannot ask what is the cell address here. Because when you select multiple cells, it is called a range. You need to ask what is a range address. Collection of cells is called range. The range address is C23 to C27. This is how we write it. C23 to C27. The 2 is a colon symbol there. Colon. Okay. And tell me what is the range address now? Right, C23 to D28. That is the range address. The currently selected range address is C23 to D28. So an individual intersection is called a cell. Collection of cells is called range. Okay. Then what is a sheet? Sheet is collection of all these cells together. It will create one sheet here. What is the sheet name? About Excel, right? Excel UI. Customize QAT. All these things are the different sheets available in this workbook. So we can call it a worksheet, sheet tab, spreadsheet. All of them are same only here. We usually, most common terminology is we call it a sheet. Which sheet are we into currently? About Excel. What is the next sheet? Excel UI. So now you know what is a cell, what is a range, what is a sheet. Collection of all these sheets together, it creates one, they create one workbook. Workbook is our file, collection of all the sheets. So what is our workbook here? Excelytics Excel training is our workbook. That's our file. And in this file, we have the sheets. Inside the sheets, we have the cells. Okay, now you got it? Right. So if you look at this object model, first of all, we are working in Excel application. Excel application has workbooks. Inside the workbooks, we have worksheets. Inside the sheets, we have cells, charts, shapes, tables, and so many other things. Okay. So this is a hierarchy of these objects. And you need to be very careful about these terms, workbook and worksheet. Most of the users, they use these things as synonyms, but they are not synonyms. Workbook is different from a worksheet. Worksheet is inside the workbook. Okay. Let's say if you ask me how to delete a workbook, right? My answer would be you need to go to that folder and select that, workbook file and delete it. But if you are thinking about this, what is this? Is it a workbook or a worksheet? Worksheet. So my answer would be, okay, you just need to do a right click and you need to delete this. So understand what is the difference between a workbook and a worksheet. Worksheet is a sheet inside the workbook. Workbook is our file and a file can contain multiple sheets. Clear? Right. Moving on to the next. And now you know what is a file, right? Our workbook file. And what is the current file we are using? Excelytics Excel training. That's our workbook file, right? Workbook, you can say, or file, you can say. And every file comes with a file extension. Okay, every file comes with a file extension. So you would have heard these file extensions, something like .jpeg. What is a .jpeg file extension? Which type of file is it? Image file. Perfect. .jpeg is image file, right? Then what is .doc? Document file. What is .ppt? PowerPoint presentation file. Similarly, okay, you also have .html. Hypertext markup language, a language used to create the web pages. Right? What is a dot PDF? PDF. PDF is a PDF because it is a PDF. No? Okay. PDF is portable document format. PDF. You have CSV. Any idea? You hear this a lot going forward in the data analytics sessions. You hear a lot about CSVs. Okay.
Comma separated file.
Exactly. Comma separated values file, which is a flat file, a raw data file where the formats are not allowed. Right. You see this a lot. Right. When we get into the data analytics, because CSV is the most commonly used format to store the data. The first format is Excel and the second format that we usually see is a CSV format, comma separated values. Okay. So that means every file has a file extension. Okay. Every file has what? A file extension. So starting with .xls, let's take a look at .xls, which is an Excel file extension only, available between that 1997 to 2003. Very outdated one. Okay. If you see any file with .xls extension, consider that as like an outdated one. Almost like 22 years ago, we used to have this up to the 2003 version of Excel. Okay, XLS. The speciality of XLS extension file is, though it is outdated, a little older one, it can store both data and macros. Okay, it can store both data and macros. I'll explain what is what is this word macro shortly, but just understand that XLS extension can store both data and macros. From 2007 onwards, 2007, 10, 13, 16, 19, 20, 21, 2024, and Office 365. In all these versions, we use these three extensions only. XLSX, XLSM, and XLSB. Okay, XLSX, XLSM, and XLSB. What is this XLSX? Which is the recent version extension, I would say, available from 2007 onwards. It can store only data, but not macros. You may get a question here, data, I understand any numbers, any text I enter, it is considered as data. But what is macros? A few of you may get a question. I'll show you an example of macros so that you will understand what is macro and why macros are needed. So XLSX specialty is it can store only data, but not macros. XLSM, that M stands for macro enabled workbook. So it can store both data and macros. The last one is XLSB. It can store both data and macros as it saves the file in the binary format. It can compress the file size. I can tell you a real-time scenario here. Let's say you're working for a client and your client asks you to create a report using some customers data, products data, and some sales data, and you created that report. Now you need to share that report with your client. Okay, and the client is from, let's say, US. Okay, so you need to attach this file to the email, right? But this file size is about 22 MB. Your emailing server has a limitation, a restriction that you can attach only up to 20 MB. 2 MB is extra. Okay, is it okay to delete some part of the data and send the rest of the data to client? Or is it okay to split the file into two different files and some set of data in the first file, some set of data in the second file, and ask the client to, okay, you open both the reports whenever you want to see the numbers, is it okay? May not be that great, right? So what is that you can do? The same file, if you save it as XLSB, the Excel binary format workbook, the 22 MB file can come down around a 15 or 16 MB. So what is this binary format? It helps us to compress the file size. So let me quickly show you how it actually compresses the data. In the images folder, you would have received this material already. In the images folder, if you observe here, the same amount of data when we store it with the different formats, CSV, TXT and all, you see CSV, TXT took about 1850 KB. XLS, I told you, right, which is like an older one, it took about a 3 MB. Other ones like XLSX and all 1.4 MB, 1.3 MB, but you see the same amount of data when it was stored with, with the file extension XLSB. How much? Just only 815 KB. You got the point? Same amount of data, but you are able to reduce the file size with the help of the binary format. So what is the file extension that you need to choose? XLSB. So it says when you go for the save as, there you find an option here, XLSB, Excel binary workbook format, right? So whenever you have, a 3 MB, 4 MB extra data is there and you want to compress the data size, then use XLSB. It is also capable of storing both data and macros. Now I would like to show you an example of a macro. Okay. So for that, I'll just open one sample macro. Right. You see this? You have some customers data here along with their products and the quarterly sales information. Okay. What you need to do is you need to apply a filter. You need to pick up one by one customers, copy the data and rename it ALFKI. Okay. It's the same customer name and then save as file, save as, go to browse and you want to save this inside the same folder. One thing you can do it from here or directly you go back and macros training instead of browsing for it. Okay, inside this customer files folder. Now I want to save it. What is the file? Customer name ALFKI. Save it. Once the file is saved, close it. And then you go to the next customer. Steps are same again. Select the data, copy the data, create a new workbook. Paste it. What is the customer name? ANATR. This is the customer name and the same name I typed. And I also want to save this file with the same customer file name, right? I want to save it with the same name, ANATR. Save it. Once that is done, close it. And I need to go to the next customer and so on. And I want to repeat the same steps for 80 times. Okay, and by end of this exercise, I should be able to see all 80 customer files here. Okay, now tell me how much time would you need to complete this exercise? 1 hour? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. You are saying 1 hour and each 1 hour has 60 minutes and each minute has 60 seconds. And if you do the total, number of seconds available in 1 hour is 3,600. Okay, how many files you need to create? 80. So if you do 3,600 divided by 80, each file you got on an average 45 seconds to do this. Looks to be reasonable. In 45 seconds, I think you should be able to create the file, right? And save the file, and on an average, if you can maintain the speed, then 80 files can be created in 1 hour, right? But tell me, can you guarantee 100% quality in this process? No, right? Sometimes the spelling may go wrong, or sometimes, you copy one set of data, but you give some other customer name. Challenges are there, right? Anything could go wrong there. But that's okay. Even after, doing this activity, like you may not be so happy doing if the same activity is coming every day. Yes or no? Every day morning, first of all, this is what you need to do if your business tells you this. 1-2 days, it is kind of okay. But third day, fourth day, it is more like a routine, repetitive, boring work. You may not be, finding it so happy, right? Then that is when instead of spending 1 hour time to get this, you can create a macro. Just click this button and go back to that folder. You see the files are getting created. I just clicked on that button. That's it. It is doing something and it is automatically creating all those files, right? You see that already 20 files are done. You see the count here. 28, 9, 10, 30 are done. I'm not doing anything apart from just, I click that button. That's it. 40 done. You see that? 50 done. You all said 1 hour, right? To complete this task. And moreover, we also, we were not sure about 100% accuracy. And I'm not doing anything. I just clicked on that button and I'm just waiting for that output message box. 79 and all 80 files are done. If you go back, you said 1 hour, but it was able to complete this entire task in 46 seconds. All 180 files are ready and 100% accurate, and you can open any file here. You will find the same customer data without missing a single record, without any spelling mistake. Now tell me, which one is good? Doing it every day by spending 1 hour is good, or macros, automation is good? Definitely automation is good, right? So every day you can save 1 hour time. But for the macros, if you want to create, and whatever the button I just clicked, I actually triggered a macro, right? What is a macro? Macro is a program. Macro is a program, and I coded all those things, what this macro is supposed to do. And I said, like, go to this data, filter the data, pick up the customer, copy the data. I coded everything there. So that's how it was able to create all those 80 customer files here with one click. So this macro, what is it? It's a program. And if you want to create a program, what is needed? If you want to create a program, what is needed? Instructions. Okay, these instructions are written in a programming language. Perfect. In a programming language. So every macro is a program. A program requires a programming language. And the programming language that is available here is VBA, Visual Basic for Applications. Visual Basic for Applications. So that's the programming language that is running in the background to create all those files. Let's take a look at this coding platform here. If you hit Alt F11, not only here, you can hit in your Excel also. If you hit Alt F11, this will open the coding window. There you can code it. Okay. So this is the coding language. And which language is it? It's called VBA, Visual Basic for Application. So that is the coding language we are using here. Okay, Visual Basic for Applications. For the for the very first time when you see this, you may be confused and why is this coding language is like this, right? But trust me, if you can attend our VBA training program, all of you will be able to create the codes. This kind of a code hardly takes any 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes to write. That's it. You will be able to get 100% accurate results. Once you write this one, this is like a reusable code. Every day you just click that button, that's it. It will take care of creating all those files. Which one is better? Every day manually doing the things better, or writing a code is better? Right, writing code is better, but only one challenge is that at this point, you are not too sure about what is this code, what is that dim, what is that for, right? But if you learn this coding language, you all can, save at least a couple of hours every day, because we all invest a lot of time in Excel reports, right? But instead of doing all these things manually, what you can do, you can automate them. Okay, that is a separate training program, which is our VBA training program. But yes, once you are good with that, just by clicking a simple button, you will be able to get all those things done in few seconds. Look at this, your 1 hour job now turned into a 1 minute. Yes or no? Right? If you can save this much of time for these kind of requirements, imagine if you master VBA language, then every day at least a couple of hours, if you can save, you can invest that couple of hours in some other place. You get the point? So I understood, right? What is a macro? What is a macro? It's a program. Every program requires what? A programming language. And which programming language we are using here? VBA. What is the full form of VBA? Visual Basic for Applications. Right? Now you understand what is a macro? Okay, so let me show you one interesting thing here. These three, XLS, XLSM, XLSB, these three are the ones they can store macros. XLSX cannot store macros. This particular version of Excel cannot store macros. It can store only data, but not macros. You get a question, why do I need an extension that, avoids storing the macros? Okay, you get that question? Macros, are they useful or not? Useful, right? Then why Microsoft came up with such an extension which doesn't store macros? Why? Why Microsoft intentionally skipped them? Any idea?
Like if we don't want to change the data and keep it like constant, information without changing.
So, okay, but why Microsoft intentionally skipped macros in XLSX to store? They also call it macro free workbook. Why they wanted an extension like this? Okay, let me explain you this way. Most of you are working, right? In different places? Yes? Okay, I think it is very important these days. What is a macro, I said? It's a program, right? So what is a program? Anything you code there, right? That program will do the things for us, correct? Okay, tell me something. I create a program, which is a macro. I'll share that file with you. And what is the job of a program? Whatever is coded inside, it should perform that, right? And then I code my macro like this. It comes to your system. The moment you open it, it goes to your Outlook. It goes to your all sensitive information. It finds out all those passwords, user IDs and all. It captures all of them. And it automatically sends out an email to me without giving any notification to you, right? Can a program do this? Yes. See, if the program is able to create the multiple files, it can also copy the contents of the files. It can copy the emails right from your Outlook. All those things are possible. So understand this. Macros, yes, they are good as well as they are bad. Why? Because what if someone creates a macro like this to steal all your sensitive information? Possible. You're getting it? So Microsoft then came up with an idea that XLSX is the extension which doesn't store any macros. Okay, it is a macro free workbook. So that's the reason in our Excel training also, if you observe, all our files are with correct XLSX extension. Why? Because there is no need of storing a macro here, right? But if I want to store the macros, then what is the file extension I need to use? XLSM, XLSB, or XLS, because all three of them are macro capable. So you need to be really careful going forward. Most of the working professionals, they don't really pay attention on these extensions, but as you know this now, macros can potentially contain virus also. In here itself, you can see in the macro security, Microsoft suggests us not to enable all the VBA macros by default. Why? Because VBA macros not recommended to enable every time because potentially a dangerous code can run. Just be careful, right? This may be looking, macros are doing so much of great work. But at the same time, we also have the issues unless they are coming from the trusted sources. Don't open those files. Okay, hope I made it clear. XLSX is the extension which doesn't store any macros, but the rest of the three, XLS, XLSM, XLSB, can store macros. Okay, but they are also kind of dangerous if they are coming from unknown sources. Be careful. Okay, we also have the file extensions, and basis on the extension, the number of rows and columns, they may vary. If you are using Excel S extension that has 65,536 rows, 256 columns. And if you are using any of the new extension files, XLSX, XLSM, XLSB, and I have a question here. These three file extensions are available from which version of Excel, XLSX, XLSM, XLSB? From which version of Excel they are available? From 2007, they are available. Excellent. From 2007, they are available. From 2007 version of Excel, if you open any Excel file, you see 10,48,576 rows, 16,384 columns. Okay, these many columns are there. And currently I am in Excel SX extension. If I go to the last column, XFD, what is the XFD column number? 16,384. But you get a question here. You only said columns are ABCDs, right? Why are you talking about the columns in numbers? In columns, ABCDs, yes, for the reference purpose, we use that as A1, A10, A15 or B1, B10, B20. But when it comes to the column count, you need to turn this ABCDs into 1, 2, 3, 4 only. So XFD column number, if you consider A as 1, B as 2, C as 3, D as 4, E as 5, and if you so on, count them, Once you reach XFD, that number is 16,384th column. Okay. This is all okay, but I always used to wonder like why Microsoft came up with such a random number, 65,536. You see that? 10,48,576. What is this random number? Is it like a random number? By any chance, is it like a random number? It's not a random number. But I always used to think like why Microsoft made it like this Excel spreadsheet should have 10 lakh round figure. Why 10 lakh 48,576? What is the point of giving, such a random number, right? It's not a random number. In any data storage application or a device, it has to follow the binary formats, okay? All our data gets into the binary format and then only it can be stored inside the hard disk, right? That's the reason, as we follow the binary format, all the different memory devices, we see them with the capacity like this. You would have seen a 1 GB pen drive, 1 GB. After 1 GB, 2 GB pen drive. After 2 GB, 3 GB pen drive. Do we have a 3 GB pen drive? No, right? We don't have a 3 GB. Then after 2 GB, what is that we have? 4 GB.
4 GB.
After 4?
8 GB.
8 GB, not 6, right? Okay, after 8, 16 GB. You see that? After 16, 32 GB, right? 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. You know what are they? They are 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. Right? 2 power 10 is 1024. Similarly, if you look at this, this is 2 power 16. The 65,536 is 2 power 16. This symbol is there, right? This is called exponent symbol, the exponent symbol, right? Caret. Okay, so this is 2 power 16. 2 power 16 is how much? 65,536. This is 2 power 8, 256. This is 2 power 20, 10,48,576. And this is 2 power 14, 16,384. Now we got the point. What are these things? So it is 2 power 16, 2 power 8, 2 power 20, and 2 power 14. Got some idea now? So these are not random numbers, by the way. Okay. So if I go to the last cell here, control down arrow, if I do, what is the row number you see there? 104,48576, right? 10,48,576. What is the last cell here? XFD 10,48,576. That is what you see in the name box. Yeah. Are we okay with these numbers? You no need to remember exact numbers, at least approximate numbers are okay. Okay. You no need to remember 10,48,576, but at least 10 lakh round figure. Okay. I want to do a small exercise here. Let's see. I want to spend 1 second on each cell. 1 second here, 1 second here, 1 second here, 1 second here. And likewise, I want to touch each and every cell and spend 1 second, and I want to touch the last cell. Okay. So tell me, just a second. Okay. If I want to do this way, I want to touch each and every cell, spend 1 second there. Okay. And go to the next cell. And like this, I want to touch the last cell. What is the last cell? Except the 10,48,576, right? So how many seconds are needed? Whatever the number of cells are there, those many seconds are needed. So tell me this, how can I calculate the total number of cells on one spreadsheet? How can I get to know the total number of cells on one spreadsheet? Okay, I'll give you a simple example. You have a small table. There you have 3 rows, 2 columns. 3 rows, 2 columns. How many cells are there?
Rows into
6.
columns 3 into
What is that you did there? To multiply. 3 multiplies 2. Rows multiplies the columns is equal to the number of cells. Here also, can I do the same thing to find out the number of cells? Yes, I can. And every calculation in Excel starts with equal to number of rows, and this is multiplication symbol, star symbol, asterisk, ASTERISK, asterisk. Okay, number of rows multiplies number of columns. And when we do this, you see these many cells are there in one spreadsheet. Okay, so if I want to spend 1 second on each cell, how many seconds are needed? These many seconds are needed, right? So if I want to do, if I want to touch each and every cell and spend 1 second, and I want to touch this, any idea how many days are needed to touch the last cell except the 10,48,576? Any guess? 10 days? Maybe?
Sometimes.
10 days, is it okay? Or maybe more than that? More than that? 1 month? 2 years? Let's do the calculation, and every calculation starts with what? Equals to. So let's find out how many seconds are there in 1 year. How do we do that? 365 days multiplies 24 hours, 60 minutes, 60 seconds. So if I do this calculation, what it will return? The total number of seconds available in 1 year, right? You see that? It's way too less. If I do a division, the total number of seconds needed divided by total number of, this is a divided by operator, /. Okay. If I do this, the total number of seconds available in 1 year, you need 545 years to touch the last cell if you spend 1 second on one cell, each cell. 545 years. Now you think about this, and we are talking about only one spreadsheet, by the way, right? And what is a workbook? Collection of multiple sheets. Now you think about the capacity of one file, nothing but one workbook. Okay. And I'll tell you one more interesting thing here. From 2007 onwards, which is XLSX extension, you don't have any limit on adding the number of sheets. You can add as many as you want, as long as your hard disk supports. Okay. You don't have any limit also. But in 2003 version is there, right? XLS, you were able to, go up to only 256 sheets in one workbook. If it is XLS extension, what is the maximum number of sheets you can have? 256. But from 2007 onwards, XLSX, XLSM, XLSB, you don't have any limit. It's up to you how many you want to add. Okay. Right now, you got some idea now, right? Okay. So tell me this. What is a file extension that doesn't store macros? Excel SX. Okay. Why Excel SX is needed? Why not simply going with always XLSM or XLSB or XLS?
Security purpose.
Security purpose. Okay. Because they are macro capable files. And if something goes wrong in terms of the code and someone intentionally does any virus coding there, then that's it. All your sensitive data is gone. And these days, it's almost like everywhere a cyber attack only. So just be careful. Do not open any random files, especially if they have an extension XLS, XLSM, XLSB. You need to be really careful about them. And moreover, my recommendation for all of you, if you do not have MS Office, do not go for any cracked versions. These days, it is not so safe. Because I'll tell you one thing, earlier, all our devices are not interconnected, okay? Now somehow your laptop is connected to your mobile is connected to your TV is connected to some other, any IoT kind of a device if you take, right? If something goes wrong in one system, then it can eventually enter into the all other systems and it can steal your sensitive data. So just be careful. Do not download any pirated versions of these softwares also. Not recommended. Okay. So just in case, if you are using 2016 at least for this training program, that is great. Okay. no need to upgrade. But if you are using 2013, 2010 or 2007, my recommendation, upgrade with a genuine version of MS Office only. Okay, I hope all of you have the updated version, at least 2016 or 19. If you have it, great. But if you don't have it, do not go for the pirated versions. These days, it is not so safe. Okay. Just in case if you are looking for Microsoft 365 or Office 2021, 2024 license, just talk to the front office because we are authorized Microsoft Test Center. We can also arrange those licenses. It's around 2000 rupees if it is like a 2019 version of Excel. 2024 is little expensive because it's like a recent version of MS Office. But you no need to go with that such a high end or a recent one. 2019 or 2021 is okay, which is a lifetime valid license. If you buy that code once, but in the same system, you want to install once again, it is okay. But on different systems, you cannot install because each and every license is dedicated to only one system, one machine license. Okay. If you have it, any advanced version, great. But otherwise, do not go for the pirated version. So these days, you can't trust any pirated version software. Okay. Fine then. So we understood what is a macro, what is the power of a macro, and we also understood the disadvantages of a macro. Just in case if any virus program is there, we'll be in a big trouble.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, just now you said like it is for only one system, right? The
Yeah.
licenses. So what happens if this system is like not working then? Like system suddenly stopped working then?
You can reinstall on the same system for multiple number of times. But if you buy a new laptop and you want to use your old license key, not possible because it will be registered with that IP address and you cannot install the same key on some other laptop.
Okay.
That's not possible. Okay. But on the same system, multiple times you can reload. No issues.
So you mean the product key cannot be used for any other system?
No other computer can have the same product key because each product key is only for one computer. Okay. But usually laptops and all, I mean, they last for at least a good 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I've been using this laptop from the last 4 years and everything is quite fine. Yeah, just in case sometimes the operating system issues and all we come across. And then we just reinstall the OS and MS Office also, we just need to reinstall. Anyways, we have the key, right? We'll use the same key on the same machine. Okay. You also have Microsoft 365 license somewhere around 3,000 rupees, but it is like an annual subscription. Nothing but every year you will have to make the payment, 3,000 rupees change. Okay. That is with the annual subscription. Currently, I'm using Microsoft 365 only. But I don't think as a single user, you may need that Microsoft 365, 2019 or 2021, fine. If you want, you can go for 2024 also if you want. Okay. Now you got some idea? Fine then. What are the file extensions that can support macros, that can store macros? XLS, XLSM, and XLSB. Excellent. Right. What is the very first version Excel name? Very first version when Microsoft launched it in 1985. What is the name of Excel? Multiplan. Multiplan. Okay. From the second version onwards, they renamed it as Excel. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you talk about CSV extension also, sir?
The CSV extension is one of the file formats most commonly used to store the raw data. You don't need any formatting on that. Okay. So something like, I'll show you a few CSV files, how they look. Most common thing in data analytics, we use the CSV files a lot. You see, all these things are CSV files only, and they can be opened using Excel, but this is called comma separated values. And I'll show you comma separated values. You no need to open using only Excel. You can also open this thing with the notepad, right click, open with, if I choose notepad as the application, yes, a CSV can be opened like this. And why we call it as a CSV, comma separated value, you see that each and every column is separated using a comma. That's why we call it comma separated values. It is as good as each and every comma is one column in our Excel. Most of the applications, so many ERP applications are there in the market, right? They export the output into CSVs or into Excel files. Most common, things. And few of the banking applications, they accept only CSV as the inputs. Anyone here, you need to upload a file, but it specifically asks only for the CSV format. Anyone here? Your application, you want to upload the data into it, but it clearly says you can upload only the CSV file. There are reasons behind this. A CSV file is like a flat file and it cannot contain any formatting, no colors, no calculations, nothing. Just the numbers, text, dates and all. Certain content is there, only that content will be there, no formatting, no calculations in this file extension. And most of the applications, they take the CSV files as inputs because they don't require any formatting there. They just need only the raw data. That's it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Is it more safer, sir? That's the reason why most people prefer CSV.
So one thing is that the size of the data, usually in the CSVs, they occupy less size. Okay, that is one thing. And most of the applications, as they don't require any special formatting on the data, they accept CSV as a default format to upload if you want. Okay, as it contain only just the data, no coding, nothing is possible inside this. Okay.
Yeah.
If you have Excel SX, then if you have Excel SM, then you need to be worried about the macros also, because Excel SM file is capable of storing macros,
Macros.
right? But CSV can't store anything other than data, simple data. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mostly which organization were using CSV format?
Almost every company uses CSV formats. Not only that, you just try to upload any of these things. I'll tell you.
Your voice is too low. For all.
Others, is my voice okay?
Yes, sir. It is perfect.
Maybe just in case, you just check your audio settings once. Just increase the volume, I think somewhere, or maybe better use a headset. I mean, I use the same laptop, same setting, so everyone finds it okay. Just in case, I think in your case, your audio is like little low. Maybe just go to the audio settings and increase that volume once, please. Almost every company uses CSVs. Okay. I'll tell you one more thing. These banking applications and all, they give us, if you have a business account, usually companies, they do this. They need to process the salaries of the employees. Okay. Then, do you think like a HR person sits in front of a computer and opens everyone's, account details and then processes the amount? No. They just simply ask, upload a CSV or an Excel file, and just cross check whether account numbers and the bank, the IFSC codes and all, if they are checked, that's it. Process. One click. System will take care in the background. It is not like an individual payments, like one by one the companies do. Let's say there are 10,000 employees and all these 10,000 employees salaries to be processed on the last working day. So do you think like someone would be sitting and processing that one by one? No, right? So banking applications and all, they usually ask for a CSV input. Once your data file is ready, just upload that into the banking website and say process the payments. That's it. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next one. This is user interface. Every applications, every application has the UI, user interface. Okay. So what kind of, the different elements or objects are there? Let's see. Excel application user interface. This is called title bar. Title bar. This is where you can see the application name, the file name. This is quick access toolbar. I'll show you how you can make use of the quick access toolbar. Okay, this part is called quick access toolbar. This is ribbon. Home tab, in the ribbon, you have the home tab, insert tab, page layout tab. Inside the ribbon, you have all these tabs. Under each ribbon tab, you have the groups. Clipboard group, font group, alignment group, number group. These are the different groups. We have the name box. That is where you see the cell addresses. Formula bar. This is where we see the formulas and other text content that we type. Column labels ABCDs. Row labels 1, 2, 3, 4s. These are the sheets. Status bar. Okay, there Excel is showing ready. And we have the zooming options here to zoom in and zoom out. Okay. Title bar, quick access toolbar, ribbon tabs. Under each ribbon tab, we have the groups, clipboard font and all, name box, formula bar, column labels, row labels, sheets, status bar, and zooming options. Right? You may get a question like, why do I need to learn this? I'll tell you. I may tell you, you need to navigate to, let's say you are asking me a question and I'll say that you need to navigate to the ribbon. In the ribbon, you have the data tab and the data tools group. There you have something like remove duplicates. Where is data tab here in the ribbon? Do you know? You know where is the ribbon? Do you see the data tab
You
there?
said form.
Right, yeah, perfect. So select that. Do you see the data tools group there? Is it there? Now you know that, okay? Now within this group, now you can easily find out remove duplicates or text to columns or data validation. See, then for the navigation purpose, these terms, they really help us. You need to practice their names, okay? So I may simply say that, okay, go to the home tab and the styles group. Where is the home tab? Where is the styles group? There you have the conditional formatting. So for the navigation purpose, to make it sound easy for all of you, we just discuss the UI. Now you know what is what, and whenever I say, you will directly look at that feature, right? So do you see the view tab? Yes? Perfect, it's here, right? Now you got the point? Navigation part is okay. Inside the application, the different parts of the application. Perfect. This is all okay, but what is this called? This is sounding little interesting. Quick access toolbar, QAT, quick access toolbar. Why do I need to, understand more about the quick access toolbar and what is its name? Quick access toolbar. What is that it can access quickly? So let me show you why the quick access toolbar is needed. Let's say I want to apply borders, okay? We just clear off all of this. I want to apply the borders, okay, in this range. Anyone knows the shortcut to apply the borders? Alt HBA, perfect. We want to do Alt HBA to apply the borders. And by the way, we no need to hold all these things together. Okay, we do something like this. One by one, Alt H B A, borders applied. Okay, Alt HBA. Okay, I'll tell you why Alt HBA. This is called hotkey. Okay, what is a hotkey? Hotkey is a series of keys we hit one after the other. It is different from a shortcut key. Most of us, we think hotkeys and shortcut keys are same. They are not same. Hotkey is the keys combination one after the other we hit. But in the case of a shortcut key, we need to hit all of them in one go. If you want to save the file, what is the shortcut? Control S. So would you hit Control once and then S later? You need to press both of them in one go, then only you get that function executed. Right? So when you want to apply a shortcut key, you need to press all of them together in one go. But when you want to use any hotkey, one after the other. And by the way, all these hotkeys, they usually start with the Alt combination. When you hit Alt, you see that? H is for home tab, B is for borders, A is for all borders. This is how also you can learn so many hotkeys. But the problem with the hotkeys, they are lengthy. 4 keys, 5 keys, 3 keys.
दे दो 600 में तो दे देना था.
Right? So we may not be finding it so comfortable, right? Using the hotkeys every time for these requirements. So what is that we need to do? we can create our own custom shortcuts, and most of the working professionals also they don't know that. How many of you used actually the QAT, the quick access toolbar? Anyone? Let me show you. Yeah. So the way we do it is this. Let's say borders is the one every day I need to apply, and I'm not happy using Alt HBA every time. What is it I do? I just go to the borders feature. All borders is there, right? Just do a right click and I say add to quick access toolbar. Once I do that, borders feature will come here, right? Okay, great. I got the borders there, but how I can use that? Okay, select this and I use this mouse? No. If I need to use the mouse, I can do it from here also, right? What is the point adding it on to the quick access toolbar? If I hit Alt, what is the number displayed for borders? That's it. Alt 5 is the border shortcut. Whenever I want to apply borders, I can simply type Alt 5. That's it. Which one is better? Alt HBA or simply Alt 5? Correct. There are certain things in our day-to-day work, we do them quite frequently, right? And those features, maybe one thing is here and one thing is here and one thing is here. And you may not be, every time, you may not like every time going there and choose with the help of a mouse. So, these features are located in different tabs, different groups, right? There may be 6 to 7 different features on daily basis we use quite frequently. Yes or no? All those features, you can add them onto the quick access toolbar. With the simple help of Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can easily access them. You don't even need to use the regular shortcuts for them, right? Then you get a question. This is sounding really interesting. How many can I add there? Onto the quick access toolbar, how many can I add? It actually allows you to add 1024 features. But is it recommended to add different, 1024 features onto the quick access toolbar? Definitely not. Add maybe 5 or 6. Let's say you even add like a 200 different features onto quick access toolbar, but how can you remember those numbers? You get the point. So that's not going to be easy. So add the ones that you, frequently use. Don't use, don't add everything there, right? You understood now? Let's say you learn now how to add something, but how to remove something? Very simple. Go to that feature, right click. If you don't want that, remove it. There you should get one more question. You added something like merchant center I want to do always. So I'll add this one. So when I do Alt 5, yeah. When I do this Alt 5 here, what does it do? It does that merchant center, right? And in your case, you also added a feature. Let's say borders. That is there in your computer in the 5th position. Okay, which is Alt 5 for you. But Alt 5 for me is merchant center. Alt 5 for you is the borders. And I share this file with you, whatever the file that I'm using here, right? This particular thing, I'll share it with you. And you get a question like, my borders feature for borders feature is there in the 5th position. In your case, merge is there in the 5th position. Then what will happen to my computer? Because I'm going to open this file, which is shared by you. You no need to worry about it. All this quick access toolbar properties are at the application level. Nothing but you open any file, the same thing you will find. Just because I share a file with you and you open that file and you don't expect my quick access toolbar settings will appear for you. No. The quick access toolbar settings are at the application level. Nothing but you open any file from anyone, you receive it. Your settings only you will find always. You got the point? Right. Now you got some idea how you can add or how you can remove something from the quick access toolbar, right? There you get one more question. I'm not happy seeing this merchant center in the 5th position. Is there any way that I can move it to the 4th position? Because I find it comfortable doing a Alt 4, okay? Then you do something, right click, customize the quick access toolbar. There, select this 5th position merchant center, move it up to 4th position. Now, Alt 4 is merchant center. Easy stuff only, but basis on your preferences, you can add and you can rearrange these features. Okay, is it fine? Got some idea now? You can now create your own shortcuts instead of using the lengthy regular shortcuts, Alt HBA, Alt W, Alt HW, Alt HMC, right? You no need to use all those lengthy shortcuts and you can add them onto the quick access toolbar. Is it fine? Okay, excellent. One more thing about the shortcuts only. Yes,
I
please.
selected 10 creative formats. I don't want a particular shortcut key. It is completely deleted all the creative part where I selected.
Only one by one you can remove them.
One by one.
Yes. Or otherwise you can go to the customize quick access toolbar and whatever you don't need, you can just remove them from here. Like this, select and remove. Okay. One more thing is there, the next sheet is about shortcuts. It has about 160 plus shortcuts in this. Each and everything that we use in Excel, there is a shortcut for it. Okay. But the problem I'll tell you. How many shortcuts can you practice, before tomorrow's session? 160 are there. 100, okay. 100 shortcuts. Well, let's go half. 160 divided by 2 is 80. 80, okay, by tomorrow. Can we practice 80 shortcuts?
So this file be shared to us.
It's there in the Google Drive. You can download. You just check with the front office. Is it okay? 80 shortcuts. Can you all practice? 40. 1 by what? 4 we do, which is like 25% of the shortcuts. 40. Is it okay? Right? Everyone, online participants, 40 shortcuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like that confidence. In one day, you want to learn 40 shortcuts.
So
I'll
we
tell you.
can't.
That day you can, that day you can forget.
The problem is this, shortcuts.
Every day we can practice.
Yeah, every day if you are using continuously, then only you remember. And trust me, and if you don't use a shortcut for like 30-40 days, you will forget. Unless
people are using underlines.
exactly. So I'll tell you one thing. Each and everything, almost everything in Excel, you can access with some shortcut. That is possible. But you don't need to learn every shortcut. Okay. Learn the shortcuts if you frequently use that feature. What is the purpose? We learn any shortcut to speed up the work without touching the mouse, and you want to do it with the keyboard so that you can speed up the work. And max how many seconds you can save? Let's say 10 seconds using one shortcut. Right? Let's say I learn a shortcut, but I use that feature once in 1 year. And how many seconds I'm saving there? Only 10 seconds in 1 year. It doesn't make much sense. But if you use a shortcut quite frequently every day, right, then you can actually save some good amount of time. So do not try to learn each and every shortcut. Just in case in the interview also, if you get any question about Excel shortcuts, if you practice it, great. If not, tell that you don't know the shortcut. That's okay. It's not mandatory that you must be aware of each and every shortcut, okay? Let's say conditional formatting, there may be a shortcut, I don't know. I really don't know. Trust me, I don't know what is a conditional formatting shortcut. But I know how conditional formatting works. I know each and every feature inside the conditional formatting, highlight rules, top bottom rules, and the other few things like color scales, data bars, icon sets, right? And whatever I just said, it's the same order. You see that? I remember the order also, but I don't know the shortcut, right? Because, I don't use this conditional formatting with the help of a shortcut. If I really need it, I know conditional formatting is there in the home tab and it's always visible, and I go there and I pick up. Remember, learning each and every shortcut is not mandatory, but there are certain shortcuts that are expected from every Excel user. Something like you want to get today's date, right? Using a shortcut, you want to get it, or you want to format the cells. Those kind of shortcuts, because they are very much important, I'll discuss them. When to use what and how, frequently we use it. And moreover, it's like a, most commonly used things there. So definitely we all need to learn the shortcuts, but not everything. But just in case, if you want to learn the shortcuts, each and everything is here. And you can read that here like this, okay? If you want to save, what is it? Control S is a save. And if you want to apply the filter, Control Shift L is to apply the filters or remove the filters, right? Each and everything is there. But anyways, as we go along, I'll discuss a good number of shortcuts also that are like very, very important for us. Okay. Are we good? Don't practice 40 shortcuts tomorrow. Okay? Not needed. Done. I'll quickly complete this part, right? And I'll leave you with a question for today, and you need to come up with the answer tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Let's see that. Yesterday also we did the same thing. I want to multiply. A1 multiplies 2. What's wrong there? That's not 3. It's not 3 multiplies 2, right? What is it? So it's not 3. You're surprised, right? It's not 3 when I say. It is 2.5. I actually entered 2.5 only. But when I say decrease the decimals, 2.5 will be rounded and it will appear as 3. But when you do the calculations, A1 has a value how much? 2.5 only. So 2.5 multiplies 2 is 5 only. So remember, in Excel, there are two types of values we see. Display value on the cell, original value inside the formula bar. I want you to always look at the formula bar only. Remember the rule number 1. If you want to work with Excel, easily remember this. The value that you see on the cell may or may not be same as the original value. Original value may be something else. You know, don't trust the value. That is the reason I always say, don't trust the value that you see on the cell. Always look into the formula bar first. I'll tell you why. Why can't you trust the value, okay? Okay. This is 45. This is 5. How much is the total? How much? But it says 45 only. You know why? This 5 is not 5. You know, what is that 5? It's 0.
0.
I entered 0 actually there. Okay. But other than 0, you enter any value. If I input 10 there, it works 55. But if I input 0, instead of showing 0, Excel, we see only Excel from one angle. Okay. There are so many other angles of Excel actually. You will be completely confused why a number is behaving like this unless we understand these concepts. So that's the reason I always say, don't trust the value that you see on the cell. Always look into the formula bar first. This is the rule number 1. Okay. To avoid any confusion, always look into the formula bar. Okay. Done. All right. Let's do this calculation now. 60. Same problem. You are trusting those values and you are believing that they are 10, 20, 30, but they are not. Okay. Shall we select? Is it 10? Okay. Is it 20? What could be the next one then? To get a 0.
Minus 30.
Minus 30. Okay. So you got plus 10 plus 20. That makes it plus 30. And if the next one is a minus 30, so plus 30 minus 30 will return 0. That's a good guess. Unfortunately, it's a wrong guess.
30.
30, a positive 30. How come a plus 10 plus 20 plus 30 is returning 0? See, most common issues, you know, when you work with a bigger data set and certain things, they don't work as expected because of the same reason. And we need to figure out why they are not working as expected. So these are numbers 10, 20, 30, and we expect 60 as the output. They are not working here because they are not 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, the numbers goes to right side, I guess.
Yeah, they are on the right hand side only.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Data
they are not
will
10,
be
20,
very
30.
different.
You'll be surprised to hear this statement that they are not 10, 20, 30. I think in your LKG, UKG, this is what you learned. This is 10, this is 20, this is 30. They are not 10, 20, 30. To understand this, let's do a small exercise. Working professionals are here, right? You have your employee ID. What's it? Any employee. 2019 Why didn't you say 20,190? Why did you say 20190? Why not 20,190? I would have typed the same number, right? Even if you say 20,190, I would have typed the same number. Why did you say 20190? Why?
That's his calculation.
Easy to remember. That's the reason. 20190.
So we have to say the number that is 20,190 is the calculation.
Okay. Let's do one thing. Any mobile number, please. Anything randomly. That's fine.
Yes, sir.
I want a mobile number. Your mobile number.
Yes. 7013
7013
75
75
2933.
2933. Okay. Why not 701 crore 37 lakh 52,933? I would type the same number, right? Even if you say this.
Maybe numbers are different than codes. Codes have been set in individual values up to 019, so on. Numbers are like you have to add a decimal, the units, the tens and all. Maybe that's the difference.
Maybe. Okay. Any other? Why are we saying these two, employee ID and mobile number, like this? Any other explanation, please?
Maybe government will given a DZ,
Okay.
particular network or they are starting.
Okay.
Selected, you have to give the starting 701,
Hmm.
70. I think 802 is the from another network. Like maybe.
Okay. Okay. Agree. Right. I saw one response in the chat. Yeah, that's correct only. So let's go to, usually people say that these things are little lengthy, right? 70137 something, right? Instead of saying a lengthy number like 701 crore 37 lakh 52,933, if I say it, people may not be able to understand because it is so lengthy. If that is so lengthy, then how about this bank balance? Your bank balance, please. 20,000. Okay. Here we go. 20,000. There has to be some other number, right? 20,000.
20000.
No, we cannot say 20000 when someone asks, your bank balance. Something like, let's say 20,576. Let's assume. Right? We prefer saying it 20,576, but definitely not 20576. Yes or no? Right? If someone asks what's your bank balance, and if you say 20576, then that person may be confused and ask, like, is it like the bank PIN code or the bank balance? Yes or no? Yeah. What are your marks in exam? Let's say in intermediate. I understand, very difficult to remember, but 910. Okay. You prefer saying this as 910 or 910, but definitely not 910. Yes or no? Right? And what's your bike or car last 4 digit? 37? 3737. Why not 3,737? You see that you are using these numbers in two different ways. You observe?
Yeah.
Certain numbers you are using with their values and certain numbers you are using with their individual digits. There is a reason. Whatever you are doing it right. But the problem is you don't know why are you doing that way. Doing the right thing without knowing it. Okay, here we go. These are called text formatted numbers. Okay, this is a text formatted number and this is a text formatted number. But this one is actually a number and this one is a number. But how to prove it? Something is a text formatted number and something is a number. Very simple. The definition of a number is very easy to understand. Anything allows you to do the calculation is a number. Anything allows you to do the arithmetic calculation, simple addition, subtraction, multiplications are there, right? If anything allows you to do such calculation is a number. Then what is a text formatted number? Something that looks like a number, but that is not eligible for calculations. A simple thing. Your employee ID divided by your colleague's employee ID. Does it make sense? Your mobile number plus your father's mobile number. Your bike number multiplies your father's car number. Though we call them numbers, we can't do any calculations with them. Observe this. But using this, your bank balance minus 500 you want to withdraw. Is it possible? That calculation, okay, your score divided by total score. Is it a meaningful calculation? So understand there are two types of numbers in this world. numbers and text formatted numbers. So what are these text formatted numbers? Text formatted numbers are usually for the identification purpose. They are like IDs. Okay, identification purpose, we use all these text formatted numbers and they are not eligible for calculations. Can you tell me a few examples of text formatted numbers? Something that looks like a number, but you can't use it for the calculation, but you call it like a number only.
PN number.
UAN, Aadhaar number, excellent. What else? PAN card is an alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric data is by default text content. You cannot call that as number. Why? Because it is with the alphabets and numeric combinations, so which is alphanumeric, which is not a number. Bank account number. Faster, a few more.
Phone number.
Phone number,
PF number.
PF number, UAN. Debit card number, credit card number, address, the zip codes, pin code or a zip code, OTP. All these things are text formatted numbers only, right? Tell me a few examples of numbers other than the ones that you see on the screen.
Like ticket amount.
Ticket price. Okay. Since you said flight ticket, someone says bus ticket price.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah, ticket price. Okay. What else? Looks like you all are struggling, right? You're just thinking, what is an actual number? Fee paid. Yeah,
Distance.
salary received.
distance, salary received. Okay. Distance, you can measure it, you can calculate it. Salary, you can, calculate it.
Speed.
Temperature,
Heat,
pressure.
temperature, pressure. Now, yeah, you are getting into height, width, depth, all the dimensions of the product, right? Yeah. And if someone is from accounts, I was like, expecting account students to answer this. They get into their balance sheet, right? In the balance sheet, you have all those numbers only, right? What is it? Trading. I mean, the trading account related like purchases, sales, wages, and they get into the profit and loss. They say that net revenue, gross revenue, right? Salaries paid, ad hoc spent, expenses, and they get into their balance sheet and they say that assets, liabilities, capital, gains or something, whatever it is, and that the other few things. Right? Okay.
Stock market gains.
Stock market prices and all. Yes, all of them are numbers using which we can do the calculations. And there are certain things, they look like numbers, but we can't do the calculations. Okay. And using these things only, going forward, we'll be doing the calculations in Excel. And I'll discuss this table tomorrow. Okay. And here we will understand the 5 very important data types in Excel. And once you are good with these 5, you can do anything and everything in Excel. Okay. Be it any company, they are into finance, HR, marketing, sales, whatever it is, they work with these 5 data types only. Okay. So we'll talk about these data types and we'll show you one sample data set. You need to identify the data types. Once you are good, trust me, you will be able to do anything and everything in Excel. Okay. This is what we are going to do tomorrow. Any questions from these tabs about Excel we discussed? Excel UI we discussed, how to customize the QAT, and also coming to the shortcuts, we understood learning each and every shortcut may not be needed, but important shortcuts anyways I'll discuss. And coming to the data types, we understood how the numbers they behave and why we shouldn't trust the visible value and why always better, looking into the formula bar for the original value. And sometimes, something that looks like a number, but it may not behave like a number, and why it doesn't behave like a number is what we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Right? Yeah. So the exercise is try to, anyways, I asked you that question, like the text format and numbers you answered. but just while you are going back home, just look around and you will see so many numbers, so many text formatted numbers. Right? Other than the things that we discussed today, if you find any other text formatted numbers, let me know tomorrow. Yeah. Fine. Online participants, is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
Then so
sir.
let's catch up tomorrow, same time. And
Okay.
we'll discuss the data types. Very, very important. Yeah. Great. And so thanks everyone. And reach out to the front office just in case if you haven't received this material. Open this material and just go through once. Thanks
Thank you.
everyone. I'll see you. Bye.